Okay, so power supplies. Everything needs power, believe it or not, whether it's the backup radio sitting on your desk in dispatch, whether it's the repeaters sitting in the shelters that power all your radios out in the fire trucks, police cars, all that. And we just happen to be the nondescript little black boxes that do that. There's a couple examples over here down at the bottom that we're nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. Oh, that too. So here's just a quick example of some of the products that we have, and I'm going to delve a little deeper here and give you a little explanation of what some of these do. So first off, we're out of Kansas City, Missouri, and we just moved to a new location 2 years ago and expanded our production facilities by about 3 times. So also, I forgot to mention, I was in Elmar for about 10 years, and prior to working for Duracomm, it was pretty much the only power supply I used because I don't like getting called by the chief of police at 4 in the morning because something's not working. I like to sleep through the night, and Duracomm was what allowed me to do that. So that's where we get the motto, what goes in the field stays in the field, because when we sell somebody something, we pretty much don't hear from them for a while. It's kind of a bad problem to have, but a good problem for you. Duracomm stands for Durable Communications. Here's just kind of a quick rundown of some of our percentages and our low failure rate. We have everything from your basic, what we call an LP series, which is a desktop power supply, which would be what you put a radio and dispatch on, a backup radio. These are very economical, and we've had them in the field going on about 12 years now, and the only ones that usually ever come back is when lightning gets into them, and well, not much I can do about that. One of our newer additions to the desktop line is, this is called the EH30. It actually has a battery backup charging circuit integrated into it, which would allow you to still set it on the desk and dispatch, put a little gel cell battery underneath, and if you were to have a quick power bump or anything else, that gel cell battery would keep the radio online while your consoles were rebooting or anything else. This is also based upon a OEM design that we did for a big radio company that they put into all their repeaters. Starts with an M. Another one that is also similar to the EH30 is our LPB series. These actually have the batteries built in to the power supply, so you don't have to add anything to it. Pull it out of the box, plug it in. It's already got either a 7 or 12 amp hour battery in there, so this would be also something you can put in a go box, a nice little water case box with an antenna, put it up in a field, and then you've got a radio. Along with all of our desktop power supplies, we have a variety of hoods that fit a large variety of radios, and also for just the LP series, we make what we call the LPBC, which gives you also the battery charging capabilities that the other 2 models do, if that happens to be your choice. We also offer a large variety of rack mount, and I'm going to breeze through these a little quickly because there's quite a few different models here, but we start with just the basic model, which is just pretty much a power module mounted on a rack panel. Simple, effective, and these range from 1U to 2U, so they don't take up a whole lot of space in your rack. These are all available in 12, 24, and 48. The only things that aren't available in 24 and 48 are our desktops. We have a couple of 24s with no 48-volt desktops at this time, but all of our rack mount comes in 12, 24, and 48, and they're all floating ground, so no negative ground, positive ground. It's just a matter of how you hook it up. You don't have to order it any differently. Our RM series is another one of our series like the LP that was around since the beginning. When we first started doing switching power supplies, these modules have been around going on about 15 years, and I still know guys that have the original ones out there working. No problems, they just work. Our RLP series is what we kind of consider the all-inclusive power supply. It's got a battery backup charging circuit in it. It's got an LVD in it, so you put it in, you hook batteries up to it, and it'll sit there, it'll maintain your battery bank, it'll cut off if the batteries fall too low, and when the power comes back, it'll recharge them, and it'll just sit there waiting for the next time it's needed. These also have a meter to show you your amperage and voltage, and these also come in, as I've mentioned, 12, 24, and 48 volts. Here's an example of the RLPs installed in a simple repeater cabinet here. Just powering a couple of what appear to be Motorola radios up here. Another one of our offerings is the, they didn't put the part number on there. I believe this is our BMS series, and this actually has a 7 amp hour battery in it, so it would be very similar to the LPB series in a rack mount for if you just have like a single link radio or something to that effect out there. This wouldn't require you to have a whole nother battery backup system and everything else. This would be an all-inclusive situation that would handle that for you. Our DPS series is what we consider to be our industrial power supplies. These are OEMs for us and are a very versatile power supply. They also happen to be UL listed if that's something that's a requirement. And here's an example of one of these mounted in a NEMA box running a couple of link radios for a voting system. We also carry a line of products for power distribution, which include our simple DB5 module, which takes just standard ATC, ATO fuses. So if you happen to be out at a remote site, QT's got your fuses right down the street or your local gas station. It makes it very simple and effective. We also offer power distribution with either LED indicators or meters. And we now have added GMT fuses, which is a telecom type fuse, which actually has a little grasshopper that comes off and will alert you when there's a blown fuse. These are primarily used in the 24 and 48 volt realm, but they offer, this is a 20 place distribution panel that handle up to, I believe it's 100 amps. Also, we have DC to DC, which is becoming a bigger and bigger part of the market right now, because if you have a new microwave link system you're putting up and you need 48 volt, you don't want to have to go add a whole new power supply, but you already have 24 volt. You can go ahead and just add a DC to DC module and use all your battery backup, all your existing parts that are there. We provide these in 200, 500, and 1,000 volt versions. We also provide battery charging, which comes in just the module as shown before, the rack mount, and this is one of our BMS series, which also has charging, low voltage disconnect. It's very similar to the RLP without the power supply. This is also one of our LVDs to protect your equipment, your batteries from low voltage. Low voltage is not good on your radios, not good on your batteries, and this is just a very simple solution. You hook the batteries up, you hook your load up, and when the power falls below the allotted threshold, it'll cut it off and save the equipment and the batteries from further damage. Also, you never keep things too cool when it's outside. This is one of our fan trays, which just provides a little bit of ventilation and keeps things cool. One of the other things that we offer via Hutton and ourselves is custom off-the-shelf product. If there's something that you need, whether it's 9 volt, 36 volt, something that's kind of an odd variety, we do no minimums. We do very easy production of products that are not normally the 12, 24, and 48. So if you have any requirements that come about, we have an old power supply that dies and nobody makes a replacement for it anymore. That's one of the things that we thrive on, and that's one of the things that we really enjoy doing for our customers. So that pretty much wraps it up. Does anybody have any questions? All right. Well, somebody's going to win $100. So, oh yes, ma'am.
Here's a question.